Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Marty Supreme. And this movie came out in 2025, and it's nominated for Best Picture at the 2026 Oscars. And this movie is directed by Josh Safdie, and I've only seen movies that he directed with Benny Safdie, that being Uncut Gems and also Good Time. And those movies I really love, and I was curious to check this out. And I thought this movie was pretty excellent. I really love this movie, and Timothée Chalamet, if I pronounced that correctly, he did an incredible job. I really loved him in this movie, and it really goes to show that he can just play any type of character, and he will probably be great. And I've yet to see a movie where he was like particularly bad that I can remember, but I felt as though he really showed off of what he can do in this movie, and he also had a character to play. He wasn't just playing like a typical I want to do something great and I have a great ambition, and like really struggling to get with that, and everyone around me is just preventing that from happening. And while this movie does have that, they kind of put a twist on it and just to have the main character be rude and obnoxious to everyone and just constantly putting them down, and really showing that this character will do anything to achieve his goal. And you might think that this movie might be intolerable with this type of character, but what this movie does is that it has a compelling narrative attached to it and has interesting characters and very well written dialogue, and the characters feel as though they're a part of this universe and no one stands out as particularly cartoonish or off. And I was surprised to see Kevin O'Leary in this movie, and he has a pretty decent role in this movie, like a lot bigger than I thought he would, and he worked in the movie pretty well, and he was never once distracting to me, and I didn't even recognize that it was him until his character took his glasses off, and I was like, oh, there he is. And he worked very well. I liked him a lot. This movie is also 2.5 hours long, and I never once felt the runtime. It was just a really enjoyable ride from the moment it started to the moment it finished. And I just wanted to see where this story would go, and there are plenty of characters that don't have all that much screen time, but they're very crucial characters, and they're very important to the story in terms of where it goes, and the movie constantly stays unpredictable, and I just love all these different directions that the movie goes down, and it's just a really fast paced and enjoyable. I thought the music was also great in this movie, and if I'm going to have any complaints with this movie, I will say that there were a couple song choices that I found to be a little distracting because I just didn't feel as though they fit the tone as well as they probably should have, like the rest of the movie. But for the most part, I thought it worked pretty well, and I also found there to be some like CGI, or at least it looked like CGI, to be a little bit distracting, and it just looked a little weird, like with some glass and fire and stuff. It just looked a bit off to me. But there's a lot of this movie that I still really love, and I just would love to come back to it. And there's so many tense scenes sprinkled throughout this movie, and it also has a very unique structure. Like it had a structure where, okay, the whole first chunk is just like the build up to getting like to this ping pong game, and eventually the climax will have that. But instead, this movie kind of flips it, and it does in ways kind of the inverse structure of those types of movies. Like it really has an understanding of how to keep you engaged and doing what feels natural for the story, and doesn't go in directions that feel forced or out of place of where everything was built up, at the very least. I felt as though it all flowed pretty naturally. And this movie was also very well shot, and it did feel like a Safdie movie to me. Normally I would say Safdie Brothers, but it was only one Safdie this time, that being Josh, and it had a lot of close shots and gave you a feeling of claustrophobia for sure. And I feel as though that style worked for this movie, and it gave you a feeling that, oh, this character is just trapped in New York and he just can't get out of here, and he really wants to go elsewhere, but he just can't, and you do feel that in this movie, just from the visuals alone. And I also did enjoy that this movie took place in the 50s, And it also kind of did feel like its own character studying it in that time period. Because normally when you do that, it's because, oh, you're telling a true story, or just doing that for maybe almost no reason at all, just because you wanted it to be set there, or you just wanted to do that to add some drama. But this movie does it in a way where it feels like the time period in itself is a character, and it adds it to the film a lot. And I also forgot to mention that this is an A24 film, so another one for the pile of ones that I love. And this is honestly one of my favorites from A24, and it might be my favorite Safdie movie. I'll have to rewatch Good Time and remember that being awesome, but we'll see what happens. This is pretty high up there. I need to watch The Smashing Machine, and that's directed by Benny Safdie, so we'll see how that is. But definitely check this movie out. Definitely worth watching, and whether or not it wins Best Picture, I will not be disappointed if it does win, and if Timothée Chalamet wins Best Actor, I will not be disappointed. So check this movie out whenever you get the chance, and with all that being said, I'm going to give Marty Supreme a 9 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos. As always, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below what you thought of Marty Supreme, and my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for The Other Side of the Wind. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.